October is coming to a close, and October is known as Pastor Appreciation Month. So I wanted to jump on here a moment and just express encouragement for people to let those who are in ministry know that you appreciate their ministry, appreciate what they do. Just to kind of give you my backstory in case you don't know, my husband and I started pastoring a church I guess 19 years ago now. And of course, when he passed away, I continued onward with that. But in all those years of pastoring, I can tell you that it's a challenge. It is one of the most emotionally taxing things I can think of. I was talking to my kids the other day, and I was telling them, I was saying, it's hard because you become so concerned about others. You care about them, you worry about them, even though we're not supposed to worry, but you look at them like they're your own, and so when you see them doing wrong, it hurts so bad. When you see them going another way, everything, and then when they come and they tell you that they're through with you, that really hurts too. And so it is so emotionally draining at times. And but God has been gracious to us through the years. He lifting us up and giving us the encouragements we needed along the way. But just to kind of share, just bringing this around to my story with Scott, because I try to keep this channel more about him and what we went through with losing him. In those last few days of his life, and in case you don't know, my husband, his death was very sudden and unexpected, but he ended up in the hospital, found out he had heart failure, and they were trying to do everything they could to keep him, and he ended up passing in the hospital. And there was a few days there that he was conscious, and we thought he was going to do fine. And then he was unconscious for the rest of the time that he was in the hospital prior to his passing. But in those days that he was conscious and we were able to talk, I remember going, and unfortunately I couldn't stay with him as much as I would have because of COVID restrictions. I was allowed to go twice a day at one particular hospital. And then when he got transferred, I was allowed to go a little bit more. But, I was allowed to go twice a day and visit with him. And one of those times when I was there visiting with him, we were just talking. And of course, we were thinking he was going to make it at this point. We really weren't thinking that he wasn't going to make it. But he was saying, but if anything happened, and he was going on telling me, you'll be okay. You're able to do this. You're able to run the ministry, and so forth. And of course, I didn't even want to discuss that because I was like, but this isn't even a discussion. You're coming home. And, but in that discussion, he commented to me about the people that didn't like him. And honestly, I think about that from time to time, and I'm always hurt because I think that's one of his last thoughts. That's one of the last things he was thinking about, was the people that didn't like him. And of course, I'm like, and I try to encourage him and say, look, you know what? We're not responsible for the people who go a different way, who reject what we preach and teach. We're responsible for doing what God's called us to do. And I try to point out to him the people who were receiving, the people who were grateful for his ministry, and there was many. In fact, when on social media, we had friends, so many friends from all over the world who were in touch with us. And after his passing, I had so many people reach out and tell me how much they loved him. I even had people after his passing who came to me, who were some of the people who had rejected our ministry, who came to me and were like, look, I'm sorry for what I said. I'm sorry for what I did. And of course I was grateful for that, but it was like, well, I wish you had come while he was still here. I wish you had come and told him that while he was still here. So, I'm saying all this to say, look, if there's someone who is preaching the gospel of Jesus Christ, let them know that you appreciate what they're doing. Let me tell you, they hear more often from the ones who don't like what they're doing. And let them know. And don't be harsh on people. Don't be ready to kick them. Don't be ready, Gosh, I could do a whole sermon. I'm trying to keep these videos brief, so I won't. But don't be beating people up who are doing the best they can to share the gospel of Jesus Christ. They may not do it exactly the way you think they should do it. They may not be as eloquent as you think they should be. They may not be as this, that, or the other. But if they're trying to preach Jesus, just be kind, be loving, be gentle with other people. And if you, again, lift people up who are trying to do the work of the gospel, because they need to be lifted up. And I'd also say this, just in general, be quick to commend people and quick to lift people up, and not as quick to put them down, because that day may come when it's too late.